Hello everybody, this is Debo of Debo's Film Reviews, and this week's review will be You Only Live Twice, featuring Sean Connery, Akiko Wakabayashi, Donald Pleasance, Miyama as Kissy Suzuki, as Akiko Wakabayashi was Agent Aki, with Connery as Bond, Bernard Lee as M, Lois Maxwell as Moneypenny, and of course Desmond Llewellyn as Q, and Donald Pleasance as Blofeld, in which this was the first one where Blofeld actually showed his face, after it only, like in From Russia with Love and Thunderball, just you only saw like his hand and the cat and his cat, not his face. And I gotta say Pleasance was kind of the best one, and I think that he should have just returned for the other two. Although Diamonds Are Forever did predict a plastic surgery addiction as a fan theory of why he was always changed different actors, like how it was Charles Gray, who in this played Agent Henderson. I mean, you know his wife, he was played Agent Henderson, Station J, Japan, and of course with Pleasance being pretty much the perfect one. I'll say what I gotta say about Telly Savalas when I do the Lazenby review and later on sometime. And of course, one that's I'll say is definitely better than the book. I mean, although it did not mention the alias of Shatterhand, and chronologically You Only Live Twice is the last of the Spectre trilogy in the novel timeline. First in the book, because where in the book mentioned a past relationship with his late wife Tracy from, well, I'll get to that. Well, Bond fans know that movie, and I'll review that later on, because that was the Lazenby one. And of course, with a lot more epic, was like the volcano lair, which is spoofed in the Simpsons episode You Only Move Twice from Hank Scorpio. And of course with the castings, I mean, definite epic, because of how the epic storyline where after the events of Thunderball, 007 fakes his death to get Spectre off his trail for a following mission, which was where, of course, Spectre was doing a false flag of kidnapping astronauts to start World War III between America and Russia. And of course, Bond and Japan, British had Fury of Japan, and they were right. And of course, oof, that's an epic take on it. Wow. Well, this was purely on the mission. And I also mentioned kind of like a first when it comes like the funeral scene where it is the naval funeral. And then, of course, one of the rare outings of where Bond actually wears his military uniform, because he's meeting him in a submarine base, and whew, and then of course the only time Moneypenny ever wore a uniform, her uniform too, and we're just saying something, because you hardly ever see Moneypenny in a uniform over than just regular office clothes. Because although in rare occasion where she was actually either on the field or at home base London, not travel, like Moonraker, Spy Who Loved Me, also directed by Lewis Gilbert. And of course, the screenplay was written by Roald Dahl, which I gotta say he gave old Ian kind of run for his money on that one. And I gotta say, Roald Dahl actually once admitted that this was pretty much the only film adaptation of something he wrote that he actually was pleased with. Although it was the movie, not because Fleming wrote the book. Although there was something to do with a friendship between and association with Roald Dahl and Ian Fleming. And of course, I would say that's something like Roald Dahl might have been a spy himself, but as of now, I don't have anything concrete to back that up. So back to the movie. Like I say, a lot of excellent changes and excellent side villains too, like Helga Brandt, and who basically looked like Black Widow in a way. I'm talking about the one from the comic book, not Scarlett Johansson. And Mr. Osato, which of course, Brandt and Osato was non-existent in the novel. Same with Agent Aki or Agent Henderson, who was played by Gray, who of course played Blofeld, Charles Gray, who played Blofeld in Diamonds Are Forever, and of course yeah, and I'll keep using that, rehashing that of course thing a lot. Yeah, a lot of epic action scenes like in this one, from like the space jackings to like the scene where Bond infiltrates Osato's office and after pretending to be the guy, the Spectre agent who killed Henderson, and then meets Aki, who we all thought was going to be the Bond girl, but as the character Kissy Suzuki was only mentioned to like in the movie, and only with a cover marriage, while in the book was more had more of a character, had more of a backstory, being an ex-actress who wanted to go back, who thought the grass was a lot greener back home, and she meets Bond and they hook up, and then she winds up pregnant with his kid at the end, only to not be mentioned again in the book timeline. I don't like to where Man with Golden Gun actually, if you go by the book order timeline, is where the Man with Golden Gun book took off where only twice the novel left off. And back to some of the epic action scenes, I like how, especially because this is one where you get Ninja Bond. Had like an encounter at the Sato's office with like a couple of his rent-a-cops, and then he meets Agent Aki and Tiger Tanaka, and then they talk shop for half the movie. Then yeah, sorry if I'm giving out too many spoilers. And then you got the maintain cover. Bond fakes this, puts on it. This guy's become Japanese, which of course would not be PC if it was made today. If Daniel Craig or the next person playing Bond does it, kind of like one of the things that only could have worked in the '60s. And of course with the chemistry between Bond and Aki, and of course Bond had to get some of that Spectre. Gets on that Spectre ass with Helga Brandt, and she had an epic her way out seen getting eaten by piranhas, and after failing to kill Bond, because Spectre does not tolerate failure. And man, talk about some epic. I already mentioned, said that, rehashed that line a lot, but I'll mention one more standout pieces was like the aerial dogfight with Bond's autogyro, aka Little Nelly, which of course Q came out to meet Bond for, because of course, which is surprising because, and then and that chase scene after Sato's boys tried to get Bond again after maintaining the cover, which led on an epic chase in that Toyota GT, which of course is the regular one of the movies where Bond didn't drive himself at one point, but he did pilot that pilot that autogyro. But and in that one where number 11, aka Helga Brandt, tried to get him in a plane, jump out of a plane, blow him up with a lipstick bomb, and then woof, and then Bond recovered in plane, and then for the ultimate showdown, trains be ninja and all, and then sneaks in there, evacuates the astronauts, which I was kind of a little surprising because it did. I'm surprised if Spectre had their own separate astronaut and one pop up, and because they never really explained what happened to the other astronauts that escaped. He did rescue. Did one join Bond up space, and because they were attending until Bond got captured and met with Blofeld until the cavalry came, and or was that a Spectre agent that blew up in that boat before jacking the American, attempting to jack the second American spacecraft, which for a moment I almost thought this was going to be the cheesy space one for 007, but of course it ain't no Moonraker. Definitely wasn't no damn Moonraker. And hold back to that chase with for the Tokyo, and how that, and talk about how a magnet helicopter magnet pops up and gets the enemy car up out the air. Ooh, talk about, that's one of the more hilarious scenes, and can talk about how badass use of ninjas were in this film, because man, talk about, the only time hardly ever time I ever seen a ninjas holding guns and such, and not counting Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. Probably, so that's just say the only time I ever seen ninjas use guns besides G.I. Joe or around the Saints Row in a ninja suit. And then not counting laser pistols from Power Rangers, because that's a whole different story. But overall, You Only Live Twice is a definite 5 out of 5. Epic song. Definite better shift from novel to film. A lot of epic chase scenes. And some standout action with a perfect casting of Donald Pleasence as Blofeld. Man, he knocked it out of the park with that performance. Alright, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy it. Like, subscribe, enjoy. And I'll see y'all next time.